Alright, hey guys, what's going on? Alfonsay here. This is Ace TV. We are going to be checking out a gameplay video. This was from the Kings of March. The exact date escapes me right now. I believe it was the 20th. And this Kings is pretty important because if you don't know what happened, Rescue Heroes were beaten. The Rescue Heroes themselves, best team in the game, were beaten by FlameJesters. FlameJesters were subbing in Allstarion for the day, instead of their normal tendency to chuck in either Nyx or Flamajster in goal. So it was a different FlameJesters, but it was a good FlameJesters, obviously, as they beat the team. So we'll quickly talk about this game. This game, first of all, we'll just throw it out there. It's on NA, so FlameJesters aren't expecting much going into this. And we'll talk about the implant choices, because the team choice, very basic. It's their classic Scent Hikari Ventral Star, nothing new there. The implant choices, however, are something we should talk about. So we'll compare the two Ventral Stars first. Null as a Ventral Star, he likes to be running that offensive dash and defensive dash. Both him and Hypnos run those as their personal implants instead of chucking one on team. And then they both run their hands-free movement booster. This is the pretty much like, you know, the basic implant loadout. Alfonsay on his Ventral Star, however, is running the Refresh Claw on his team implant. This is for a few reasons. I can say why I do it, because I am Alfonsay, and I like that shot. I like the power shot. I don't know the exact detail of how much it reduces it by. I'll figure that out and put a little annotation at the bottom of the screen. Meanwhile, Flamajster, he's running just the base movement speed boosted, then offensive, and then hands-free. So the interesting thing to notice here about this game is FlameJesters, or Purple Team here, don't have a defensive move booster on their team compared to Null and Hypnos, who are both running it as their primary implant slot. So the Rescue Heroes have a lot more defense coming into this game than the FlameJesters. Then the other main difference is what the goalie implants are running. Jane is running Grab Range Extender, as is Allstarion. However, Jane is running the refresh cooldown, just like Alfonsay, getting those pillars up. And to make that even faster, she's also running the Refresh Claw as opposed to Allstarion's Blink Claw. Now, I'm not a goalie main, but I know this is a lot of like, this is kind of where the main choice in playing goalie comes out. Do you want to be a Refresh Claw main, or do you want to be a Blink Claw main? A good example there, tied to one of the most impressive Blink goalies you will ever see. So we'll get into this game. We'll 2, 1... get into this game and see what's going on. Again, this is on NA, so you really should be expecting, at the moment, the state of the games, and you should be expecting the team that's on the home server to have the advantage here. So we should be looking for Rescue Heroes to really put some pressure in here, really put the FlameJesters on their back feet, and this should really affect the FlameJesters. If they commit to a play without this defensive booster, it's not going to end up too well for them, unlike the Rescue Heroes who can muck up a play and then be right back on it. So we're going to get into this game. We're going to see both teams going for the puck here. Null going to be picking that up first. Dump it down to the side. That's not exactly the best dump for Null, because it does drift slowly behind the goal, but Hypnos is there to pick it up. Flamajster not challenging, taking that. Null again getting a grab on it. Alfonsay having a bit of a hard time grabbing here. He's going to be going down the left side, trying to do a bit of a wiggle. Null body blocks him out, though. Body blocking is something that's become... It was always in Ace, but we kind of tried to use it against goalies, but it's only recently started being that players are going out of their way to bump into you. It's especially effective if you're playing against a Ventral Star to always try and keep your body on her. Because the way the Ventral Star works is if you hit it, you're gonna bump into it, and you're not gonna move as fast as you were hoping because you get stuck on the player models. Jane Tull touching the puck for probably the first time this game. She grabs it up, passes it to Null. Null's gonna be looking for cross ice to Hypnos here, but Flamajster's on defense here. Now the thing about this game is when you're playing Rescue Heroes, you really need to be covering both of them at the same time. You can't cover the passing lane, because just covering the passing lane, they're gonna find a way around that. They're really good at coming up with pretty interesting passes to get around your cover zone. So your best bet is to just cover them as players, so they barely have any place to move around. So right now we are a minute into the game. No goals have been scored. No ults have been used as far as I can tell. This is my first time doing this. This is a hard one. Puck going to be going down into Hypnos' hands here, and you're really not seeing anything special in this Ace game right now. Rescue Heroes really aren't putting up the heat that you'd be expecting them to. They're getting the passes. There, Allstarion's forced to throw down the wall, even though he got his grab on it. He was a bit scared of the wide shot, but no, shot it a bit too in the center. Flamajster manages to pull off one of the most impressive blinks I've seen in a while. Ults to the puck, but unfortunately he goes a bit too far. He's past the post, so he's forced to blink through Jane, who doesn't have a grab covering that area, because you normally don't need it covering that area. Not many people go for that kind of blink, so that's going to open the score 1-0. And now Rescue Heroes are going to look to return the favour here, but again, you're not really seeing the type of Rescue Heroes you normally see. A missed pass there from Hypnos to Null. Alfonsay throws down the Ventral Star right click, which is... So one of Hikari's main strengths is the utility of the right click. You can speed the puck past someone's grab. Ventral Star can do it as well. It's just, not as good. Jane Tull scared of the pressure being put down by Alfonsay and Flamajster. They uses her refresh claw. She's not going to have that up now, and Alfonsay kind of lucks out there. The FlameJesters weren't exactly prepped for it, and I'm not entirely sure what that ult was from Alfonsay, from me, but the FlameJesters were not prepped for that +1 to spawn, but neither were the rescue heroes. They were too busy chasing down the puck after it had been kind of scary in their offensive zone. As you saw, Jane had to use her refresh claw. This is so hard. So 2 minutes 45, it's 1-0, but you're still expecting the rescue heroes here to really get to it. Alfonsay can't ult here because Hypnos is body blocking him. Also can't get to the puck because he's super slow, and Hypnos has that defensive dash. That's another thing. If the puck, you can't play a dump style against teams that run double defensive dash. The dump style being when you're a goal ahead, you kind of just dump it, chase after it, and get it out of your zone. You can't really do that against the rescue heroes because they're always going to get the puck first because they're running this flat movement speed boosting build. Now bouncing off to himself just one time. He's got the speed up here. He chucks the puck out and misses the speed buff. The puck hits Alfonsay, which drifts into Flamajster's hands, and bounce ball is the bane of every goalie in existence. Beautiful flick shot from Flamajster, doing that head math, as JT likes to call it, bringing it up to 2-0. We've got 2 minutes left on the clock. Flamajster uses his ult kind of defensively there. You weren't going to get a goal out of that ult. That was just there to stop the pass, because one thing about rescue heroes is they build up some really good momentum. If they get those passes going and you don't intervene, it's kind of like gears. They just keep winding up, they keep getting better, and each pass they get, the next pass is going to be better than the last. So you really want to intercept it. It's a bit of, probably not really a mind game thing, but it's nice to just interrupt the pass before it's too late. Alfonsay does get it, but gets back grabbed there. Hypnos throws down the ult, and unfortunately stopping on the spot to spin in anger. He grabbed it with the ult, and I think he wanted to spin around, but instead he just shot it where it was. But no, there's the unconventional passes we're talking about. Passes it backwards, and something you normally never do in Ace, which is actually something that's growing a lot. These kind of shallow angle back passes, so your forward who's being covered puts his grab behind him, picks that up, then flicks it in. Those are happening a lot more often, and you saw it in great effect just then. Alfonsay and Flamajster, only 2 goals to their name, panicking a bit there. Flamajster using his blink to cover Hypnos' passing, and Alfonsay using his ult. Alfonsay's ults, they're not that good. Venture Star, we'll be honest, isn't that good unless you're combining it with a blink, and in this game, again, because they're on NA, the whole playstyle here is kind of bludgeoning it out. You score a goal or 2, you expect to lose, but Jane Tull accidentally drifts out of her D, or out of the, I don't know what we call that, the defensive circle, drops the shield. Alfonsay takes it out of her hand, spins around and pockets that into a goal, and gets a wall for his effort. So overall, a pretty successful thing there for Alfonsay. He uses the blink to get to the puck first. Not going to get anything out of that shot. Should have shot it more at the post to try and squeeze it between the gap and shot it straight out of the goalie. Because even if the goalie doesn't have their grab up, if the puck hits them, it's normally going to come to a stop. So what you want to do is you want to aim, even if their grab's going to be there, you want to aim where they aren't standing. If they're standing there, you're probably not going to score it. Hypnos now with an opportunity blinks, but Flamajster's already there, and I think he might have blinked into the pillar there. A bit of lag going on here. Null uses his blink, and there's an example of the Venture Star ult failing. If you're walking into someone when the Venture Star ult goes off, you're going to lose all power. And with 7 seconds on the clock, we're not going to see Rescue Heroes get 2 goals here. Another ult comes down from Jane Tull just to stop the bleeding. That's a 3-1 score on NA, which really isn't what you want to see, because Rescue Heroes now going to have to go to game 2 on EU. And assumingly, if the rule of server applies, they should lose that one. Anyway, this has been a quick game analysis. Thinking back on it, it kind of sucked. If you have any suggestions, let me know. My main suggestion to myself is going to be, write something down at the start and actually watch the game. But if you like, subscribe, favorite, follow the stream, wake me up inside. Bye.